Hey guys, it's Jessica with Southern Sparrow, and this is episode 2 of our Mahj 101 series, where we're teaching you everything you need to know from the basics to the end of American Mahjong. And this video is really where to start. When you're learning Mahjong, the first thing that you need to learn are the tiles. Mahjong is a tile-based game, and so just like any card game that you're used to, where you have a deck of cards that has certain numbers and suits and things in it that work a certain way, Mahjong is very similar. You have a set of tiles, and within those tiles there are suits and different symbols that take place in different places on your hand. So we're learning the tiles today, and there are so many options for tiles out there in the market. I have 2 of our Southern Sparrow tiles here, 2 different sets. I also brought out a traditional set. So traditional Mahjong tiles all have very similar artwork. So you have traditional, then you have an artistic take on the traditional, like our chinoiserie set, and then you have everything in between, all the way to very whimsical, like this, our country club set, which is golf themed. No matter which set of tiles you sit down and look at your game table, you're going to see that each of those sets have the same suits, the same types of tiles, just with slightly different artwork. So if you're sitting down for the first time and you're at a girlfriend's house and she has a different set of tiles from you, just take a moment and go through and look at the tiles and identify what the suits look like, what the flowers look like, etc. So let's learn what those suits and symbols are and what they mean in American Mahjong. So we're looking at our chinoiserie set, but I also have the traditional artwork and the country club set here for you to reference. So within Mahjong, there are 3 suits. So 3 suits in Mahjong, different than the 4 suits that you have in playing cards. 3 suits in Mahjong. We have Bam, which is short for bamboo. On the traditional artwork, you'll see that it's just little sticks that are meant to represent bamboo. On this set, it is actual true bamboo stalks here. And then over here on our country club set, they're golf clubs. So those are the Bam suit. Bam, short for bamboo, is typically represented in a green color, and it has numbers 1 through 9 with a matching green dragon. So Bam is our first suit. The second suit that we have is Crak. Crak on the traditional artwork stands for Chinese character. So you'll see it's actual Chinese characters on those tiles. On our stylized artwork for this set, you'll see that the cracks are little ginger jars and vases. So that is the Crak suit. And they are numbers 1 through 9 with a matching red dragon. So you have Bam, you have Crak. The next suit in Mahjong is Dot. On the traditional set, you'll see their little circles, little coins. Here on the chinoiserie set, they are koi fish, with each dot representing the number on the tile. And over here on our country club set, they are little golf balls. So again, you'll see different interpretations of the symbolism, but the suits are the same. So you'll always have Bam, Crak, and Dot. And you have numbers 1 through 9 with a matching dragon in each of those suits. Let's talk about the dragon for the Dot suit. So that dragon is over here, and it is called the Soap, and it's also called the White Dragon, but most commonly it's called the Soap, and that's for its rectangular shape. So it kind of looks a little bit like a bar of soap. So the Soap dragon is the only dragon in a set of Mahjong tiles that can do double duty. The Soap dragon can be used as the dragon that matches the Dot suit. So it is that matching dragon for the dots, and it can also be used as a 0. When we get into the National Mahjong League card, you will see that there are certain hands on that card that require a 0, specifically the hands that are spelling out that year. So there's a section on this year's card that makes 2025 hands, and you need a 0 to spell out 2025. You will use that Soap, that white dragon, the dragon that matches your Dot suit. And only that dragon can do the double duty of being a dragon and a 0. And an important thing to know is when it's played as a 0, it doesn't have a suit. So So even though it is the matching dragon for the dot suit, if you're playing it as a 0, you don't need to exclude dots from your hand if it's only a 2-suit hand. The 0 does not count as a suit when it's played that way. It only counts as a suit when it's played as a dragon. So again, let's just review. The suits that we have are bam, crack, dot, numbers 1 through 9 with a matching dragon in each suit, and the soap or white dragon is the only one that can do double duty. With those tiles, there are 4 of each tile in the suits, meaning there are 4 one-bams. The one-bam is also called the bird bam. You'll see the one-bam has a little bird on each of them. Each of the one-bams will always have a bird, and we will call it the bird bam. And some people, as a house rule, like to cheers whenever the bird bam is played. So that's just a little fun thing. We'll talk about it when we get to gameplay. But the bird bam is the one bam, and there are 4 of those in a set of tiles. There are also 4 8 cracks and 4 7 dots. So all of the suits are numbers 1 through 9 with a matching dragon, and there are 4 of each of those tiles in a set of Mahjong tiles. Okay, so we've talked about the suits. Let's talk about the non-suited tiles. So if you look down here on our bottom row of each of our sets of tiles that we have out, you'll see that we have a north, east, west, and south. Our winds, they are called winds, as if they're the direction that the wind may be blowing, from the north, from the east, from the west, from the south. You'll notice we put them in that order in Mahjong because that is how they are represented on your card. So they are represented as NEWS, news, on your card. And so they are shown as in that order usually, north, east, west, and south. I know that differs from what we learned in elementary school of going north and south, east and west, but that's how they're represented in Mahjong. So just get used to them being the news, north, east, west, south. And those tiles do not have a suit. They are called honor tiles. They don't have a suit, but there are 4 of each of them in your set of tiles. So there are 4 norths, 4 easts, 4 wests, and 4 souths. So those are your winds. And you'll find that there is a winds and dragons section on your National Mahjong League card. And then there's sometimes winds sprinkled throughout some other hands on the card. And we'll talk about that in the next episode. So let's review once more. Bams, cracks, dots, winds. Here in the middle, we have our flowers. Our flowers are just pretty flowers. And the flowers do not need to match. A flower is a flower is a flower. So you will find that most hands require either 2, 3, or 4 flowers. Not most hands. Hands that require flowers require either 2, 3, or 4 of them. They don't need to be identical artwork. Any flower can be paired with any other flower. You'll see on a traditional set that the flowers have numbers. That's just a holdover from other types of Mahjong, specifically Chinese Mahjong uses the numbers on the flowers. So that, if you have a traditional set, that is why they are numbered. They don't have a suit, so they're not like the other suited tiles, and we don't use the numbers in American Mahjong, which is why you'll find on more modern American Mahjong geared sets, the flower tiles are not numbered. So those are our flowers. Our flowers are shown on your card as the letter F. So remember, the winds were shown as the letters N, E, W, S. The flowers are shown as Fs. Don't think I mentioned dragons are shown as D, the letter D. So when we get to the card on the next episode, you guys will understand what all of that means. But just so that you're aware, you have your numbered tiles, which are your suits. And then you have D for dragon, NEWS for winds, and F for flowers. The last tile that I want to talk to you guys about are the joker tiles. And jokers are everyone's favorite tile because they're wild. A joker can be used as any tile as long as it's in a group of 3 or more tiles placed together. And we'll talk about that more when we get to the gameplay episode because it becomes really clear there. It's a bit nebulous now, but your joker is a wild tile and you can win with jokers in your hand. One final note In American Mahjong, there are 152 tiles used to play a game if you're following the National Mahjong League rules. So you'll want to be sure that you get a set of tiles that is geared for American Mahjong so that you have the right number of tiles. Different variations of Mahjong do use different numbers of tiles, and so you want to be sure that you have all of the right tiles, the right number of jokers, the right number of flowers, etc. So 152 tiles are used in American Mahjong. You'll find that Southern Sparrow tiles and other modern tile company tiles will come with 160 tiles. Those extra tiles, you'll get 2 extra jokers and 6 extra blanks. Now, it is a common house rule to play with those 2 extra jokers and 6 extra blanks. I've done videos on that in the past, so I will link those down below if you're curious about that house rule. But this series is focused on National Mahjong League rules, so you will then pull out those 2 extra jokers and all 6 of those blanks. So when you're playing a game of Mahjong, you have 152 tiles, which includes 8 jokers and no blanks. So those are the tiles, and next we will talk about the National Mahjong League card. So join us in the next episode. Happy Mahjong, y'all.